In today's world, where social media and other platforms often encourage people to show off their achievements and intelligence, it can be tempting to fall into the trap of constantly proving yourself to others. But Schopenhauer's philosophy reminds us that wisdom isn't about showing off or winning every argument. True wisdom comes from humility, recognizing that you don't have all the answers and that there's always something to learn from others. So, how can you practice humility in your own life? Start by being mindful of how you engage with others in conversation. Are you listening to understand, or are you waiting for your turn to talk? Do you share your knowledge to help others, or to prove that you're smarter than they are? By being aware of your intentions and focusing on building genuine connections, rather than showing off, you can start to cultivate a humbler approach to social interactions. It's also important to recognize that everyone has something valuable to contribute. No matter how much you know, there's always more to learn, and every person you meet has their own unique experiences and insights. By approaching each interaction with curiosity and a willingness to learn, you'll not only become wiser, but you'll also build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Schopenhauer's message is clear. Showing off your intelligence might give you short-term recognition, but it can also lead to envy, resentment, and damaged relationships. True wisdom lies in humility, listening, learning, and appreciating the value that others bring to the table. By practicing humility, you can create a more inclusive, collaborative environment where everyone feels valued and respected. And in the process, you'll build deeper connections and grow both intellectually and emotionally. Schopenhauer recognized that in many social situations, people are often focused on competition, whether it's about who's the smartest, who's the most successful, or who's the most interesting. When someone constantly tries to prove how much they know, it can create tension, jealousy, or even hostility. People who feel outsmarted or inferior might react defensively, making it harder to have genuine conversations or connections. In these situations, showing off your intelligence can work against you by making others uncomfortable or less willing to engage. Instead of encouraging a healthy exchange of ideas, it turns interactions into a contest of who knows more. This can prevent you from truly connecting with others or learning from their perspectives. That's where strategic stupidity comes into play. Schopenhauer believed that sometimes it's better to downplay your intelligence in order to make others feel more comfortable. By pretending to know less than you actually do, you create an environment where people feel less threatened and more willing to open up. When people aren't worried about proving themselves, they're more likely to share their thoughts and ideas freely, leading to more relaxed and authentic conversations. In fact, by playing dumb, you might encourage others to speak more openly and honestly, which can actually help you learn and grow more than if you were constantly trying to showcase your own knowledge. Think of it this way. If you're in a group discussion and you act like you know everything, people might hold back their ideas because they feel intimidated. But if you ask questions, act curious, and don't immediately correct others, they might feel more confident in sharing their thoughts. This can lead to more meaningful conversations where everyone feels like their voice is heard. You might even discover new insights or perspectives that you wouldn't have heard otherwise. Schopenhauer believed that in many cases, pretending to know less can be more effective than proving how much you actually know. Strategic stupidity also helps avoid unnecessary arguments. If you go into every conversation trying to correct others or show them how much smarter you are, you're more likely to spark disagreements. People don't like to feel corrected or belittled, and if they think you're trying to show them up, they might react defensively. But when you downplay your intelligence, you can avoid triggering those defensive reactions. Instead of focusing on winning the conversation, you can focus on understanding and learning from the other person's perspective. This creates a more harmonious atmosphere where people feel less inclined to argue and more inclined to collaborate. Schopenhauer wasn't suggesting that you should always pretend to be less intelligent. He understood that there are moments when it's important to show what you know, especially in situations where your expertise is needed. For example, if you're in a leadership position or working on a project that requires specific knowledge, it's essential to demonstrate your skills and intelligence. However, Schopenhauer believed that it's just as important to recognize When it's better to hold back and let others take the spotlight. The key is balance, knowing when to share your knowledge and when to let others shine. By using strategic stupidity, you're not giving up your intelligence. Instead, you're choosing to be smart about how and when you reveal it. You're thinking about the bigger picture, about the kind of relationships you want to build, the conversations you want to have, and the impact you want to make on others. Sometimes by stepping back and letting others express their thoughts, you can learn more and build stronger, more genuine connections. This approach helps you avoid the pitfalls of intellectual pride and creates a more open, trusting atmosphere where everyone feels valued. Another benefit of playing dumb is that it can act as a protective shield. In social situations, especially ones that might involve conflict or competition, appearing less knowledgeable can help you stay out of unnecessary drama. If people underestimate you, they might be less likely to see you as a threat or try to compete with you. This can give you more freedom to observe and understand the situation without being directly involved in the conflict. Sometimes blending in and keeping a low profile can be a strategic way to stay out of trouble and avoid attracting negative attention. By playing dumb, you can disarm potential adversaries and create a more peaceful, relaxed environment. Playing dumb can also help you build empathy with others. When you ask questions or let others explain things to you, it shows that you value their knowledge and opinions. This can make people feel more appreciated and respected, which strengthens your relationships with them. By acting curious and willing to learn, you can create an atmosphere of collaboration where people feel safe to share their ideas without the fear of being judged or corrected. Schopenhauer believed that building this kind of trust and mutual respect is crucial for personal growth and for forming deeper connections with others. Of course, it's important to strike a balance. You don't want to always act like you don't know anything, because that can make you seem disinterested or unengaged. The goal is not to be passive, but to be strategic. There are moments when it's necessary to reveal your intelligence and share your insights, especially when doing so can help others or solve a problem. The key is to choose those moments wisely so that you're using your knowledge in a way that benefits the whole group rather than just trying to show off. So how can you apply Schopenhauer's idea of strategic stupidity in your everyday life? Start by being mindful of your conversations. Pay attention to whether you're always trying to prove your intelligence or if you're allowing others to share their ideas. Try asking more questions instead of offering immediate answers. Show genuine interest in what others have to say, even if you already know the information. This will help create a more relaxed and open environment where people feel valued and appreciated. Remember, the goal isn't to deceive others or hide your intelligence, but to create better connections and more meaningful interactions. By being selective about when to show your knowledge and when to hold back, you can build stronger relationships, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and create opportunities for personal growth. In the end, strategic stupidity isn't about being less intelligent, it's about being smart enough to know when to use your intelligence. Schopenhauer's philosophy teaches us that wisdom isn't just about knowing a lot, it's also about knowing how to navigate the complex social dynamics of life. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is to play dumb, let others share their thoughts, and build a more inclusive, collaborative environment. By balancing intelligence with humility, you can foster better relationships and grow into a wiser, more self-aware version of yourself. In many social situations, people tend to be cautious. They're afraid of being judged for their mistakes or imperfections, which can make them hold back. This is especially true in competitive or formal environments, where people might feel like they need to be perfect or prove their worth. However, when someone adopts the role of the fool by downplaying their own seriousness or even making light of their flaws, it can make others feel safer to let their guard down. It creates an atmosphere of acceptance and non-judgment, which encourages people to relax and be more authentic. Schopenhauer believed that by playing the fool, we can foster a sense of camaraderie and understanding in our relationships. One way this works is through the power of humour. When you're willing to laugh at yourself or make light of a situation, you send a signal that you're not overly focused on being perfect. This can be incredibly disarming. Imagine you're in a conversation where everyone seems tense and on edge. If you crack a light joke or make a self-deprecating comment, It can break the tension and make everyone feel more comfortable. Schopenhauer believed that humour and humility are key tools for building rapport with others, because they show that you're not taking yourself too seriously, and that you're more interested in enjoying the moment than in being right or proving yourself. However, playing the fool doesn't mean being completely oblivious or disengaged. It's a delicate balance between humour and wisdom. Schopenhauer understood that while it's important to lighten the mood and downplay your seriousness, it's equally important to bring thoughtful insights to the table when necessary. The key is to know when to inject humour and when to contribute something more meaningful. This balance between wisdom and kindness is what makes the role of the fool so effective. By being kind and understanding, while also knowing when to step back and not take things too seriously, you can build stronger relationships and make your social interactions more enjoyable. Another important aspect of playing the fool is empathy. By choosing not to focus on others' flaws or mistakes, you create a space where people feel understood and accepted. Schopenhauer believed that when we stop judging others for their shortcomings, we're able to build deeper, more genuine connections. For example, instead of pointing out someone's mistake or making them feel bad for not knowing something, you can choose to overlook it, laugh it off, or even downplay its importance. This not only helps the other person feel less self-conscious, but also strengthens the bond between you. In a world where people are often quick to criticize, showing this kind of empathy can make you stand out as someone who truly values and cares for others. In addition to building empathy, playing the fool can also diffuse tension in difficult situations. There are times when conflicts arise and emotions can run high. In these moments, injecting a little humour or taking on the role of the fool can help de-escalate the situation. By not taking things too seriously or by laughing at yourself, you can help others see the situation in a different light. It's not about avoiding the issue or pretending that problems don't exist. It's about softening the edges of a conflict so that everyone involved feels more at ease. Schopenhauer believed that this ability to reduce tension through humour and humility is a powerful tool for maintaining harmony in relationships. Playing the fool can also help you become more self-aware. When you adopt this role, you're essentially acknowledging that you don't have to be perfect all the time. And that's okay. It's a reminder to yourself that it's fine to make mistakes, to not have all the answers, and to let go of the pressure to always be on. This can be incredibly freeing and can lead to greater personal growth. By accepting your own imperfections, you can focus on what truly matters: learning, growing, and connecting with others on a deeper level. Schopenhauer's philosophy encourages us to embrace this mindset, as it leads to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Of course, it's important to remember that playing the fool doesn't mean becoming passive or disengaged. It's not about pretending you don't care or letting others walk all over you. Rather, it's about using humour and empathy to create a more positive and welcoming environment. It's about being smart enough to know when to take things lightly and when to offer deeper insights. Schopenhauer believed that true wisdom lies in this demai deng sugismwai bis kwai disisroids is basic balance, understanding when to be serious and when to step back and let things go. By mastering this balance, you can build more harmonious relationships and lead a happier, more fulfilling life. In social situations, playing the fool also allows you to step back and observe the dynamics at play. When you're not constantly trying to prove yourself or showcase your knowledge, you can take the time to truly listen to others and understand their perspectives. This can give you valuable insights into the motivations and emotions of the people around you. Schopenhauer believed that this ability to step back and observe is a key component of wisdom. By playing the fool, you create space for others to express themselves, which can lead to deeper understanding and stronger connections. So how can you apply the philosophy of playing the fool in your own life? Start by embracing humour and humility in your social interactions. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself or downplay your own seriousness. When others make mistakes, choose to respond with kindness and understanding rather than judgment. Look for opportunities to diffuse tension with a light-hearted comment or by not taking things too seriously. And most importantly, Remember that it's okay to not have all the answers all the time. By adopting this mindset, you'll not only build stronger relationships, but also create a more positive and fulfilling life for yourself. Schopenhauer's philosophy reminds us that true wisdom isn't just about knowing when to be serious. It's about knowing when to let go, laugh, and embrace the imperfections of life. By playing the fool, you can foster empathy, strengthen your relationships, and navigate the complexities of social interactions with grace and kindness. So next time you find yourself in a tense situation or feeling the pressure to prove yourself, remember sometimes the smartest thing you can do is to play the fool. Schopenhauer's philosophy of playing the fool teaches us that not every situation requires us to demonstrate our intelligence. Sometimes letting go of the need to impress others can open up opportunities for greater understanding and connection. By appearing a little less knowledgeable or by not showing off what we know, we allow others to feel more comfortable and less defensive. This can lead to more relaxed and genuine conversations where people feel free to express their ideas without fear of being judged or outsmarted. One of the key reasons why Schopenhauer believed in playing the fool was to avoid unnecessary conflict. In social situations, when someone tries to show how much they know or dominate a conversation with their intelligence, it can create tension. Other people might feel challenged or even threatened, which can lead to arguments, envy, or competition. And Schopenhauer understood that showing off our intelligence, even when we think it's harmless, can make others feel insecure. And this can create a sense of division instead of connection. When we play the fool, we're intentionally stepping back from the urge to prove ourselves. This isn't about pretending to be dumb or letting others think we're incapable. It's about being humble enough to know that we don't always have to be the smartest person in the room. Schopenhauer believed that true wisdom comes from understanding that sometimes it's better to hold back and listen rather than constantly seeking to be right or to win an argument. By doing this, we foster a more peaceful and cooperative environment where everyone's ideas can be heard and respected. Humility is a central part of this philosophy. Schopenhauer recognized that people are more likely to open up and share their thoughts when they don't feel judged or overshadowed. When you choose to downplay your own knowledge, you give others the chance to feel valued and appreciated. Instead of competing to be the most knowledgeable person in the room, you become someone who encourages others to share their perspectives. This creates a sense of inclusivity and mutual respect, which are the building blocks of strong relationships. In fact, pretending to be less knowledgeable can actually give you more power in social situations. When people don't see you as a threat, they are more likely to relax and let their guard down. This can lead to deeper and more meaningful conversations, where you can learn more about the people around you. Schopenhauer called this approach strategic stupidity. By acting less knowledgeable at the right moments, you allow others to feel more at ease, which can ultimately work in your favour. It's a way to avoid unnecessary arguments and to create a more collaborative atmosphere. Schopenhauer also believed that there's a time and place for revealing your intelligence. While playing the fool can help build rapport and ease tension, there are moments when demonstrating your knowledge is important. For example, when you're in a discussion that requires expertise or when your insights are truly needed, it's wise to step up and share what you know. The key is to strike a balance. Knowing when to be humble and when to assert your intelligence is what makes Schopenhauer's philosophy so powerful. By mastering this balance, you can create deeper connections and avoid the pitfalls of social competition. Another reason why playing the fool can be helpful is that it encourages empathy. When you choose to let go of your need to be right, you're more likely to understand and appreciate the perspectives of others. Instead of focusing on winning an argument or proving a point, you can focus on building understanding. This creates an environment where people feel safe to express themselves without the fear of being judged. Empathy is crucial for developing meaningful relationships, and Schopenhauer believed that playing the fool is one way to cultivate it. Playing the fool also allows you to observe social situations with more clarity. When you're not caught up in trying to impress others, you can take a step back and see the bigger picture. You'll notice how people react to certain ideas, how they respond to different types of communication, and what motivates them. This kind of awareness is incredibly valuable for navigating social dynamics. Schopenhauer believed that by playing the fool, you gain more insight into the true nature of people and their behaviours. It's important to remember that playing the fool doesn't mean sacrificing your self-worth or letting others walk all over you. Instead, it's about using wisdom and humility to create stronger connections. Schopenhauer's philosophy encourages us to be smart about when we choose to showcase our intelligence and when we allow others to take the spotlight. By doing so, we can foster a more harmonious environment where everyone feels heard and respected. How can you apply Schopenhauer's idea of playing the fool in your own life? Start by recognizing that you don't always need to prove yourself in social situations. Let go of the urge to show off your intelligence or knowledge all the time. Instead, focus on building connections through empathy, understanding, and humility. Allow others to share their thoughts without fear of being outshined. At the same time, be mindful of when your insights are needed and don't be afraid to share them when the moment is right. Striking this balance will help you create stronger relationships and lead to more fulfilling social interactions. Schopenhauer's philosophy on balancing foolishness and intelligence teaches us that not every situation calls for showing off what we know. In fact, there are times when it's better to downplay our knowledge and focus on making others feel comfortable. When we act too smart or try to correct everyone's mistakes, it can make people feel embarrassed, defensive, or even angry. Schopenhauer recognized that social interactions are not just about being right, they're about connecting with others in meaningful ways. Sometimes being wise means knowing when to stay quiet and let things go. But why would playing the fool or not correcting someone be beneficial in social situations? One major reason is that it helps keep conversations light and positive. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone keeps correcting every little thing you say? It can feel frustrating, even if they're right. This kind of behaviour can make people feel judged or inferior, which ultimately creates distance between them and the person doing the correcting. Schopenhauer believed that constantly trying to prove how smart you are can damage relationships because it makes others feel small or unimportant. Instead, he suggested that sometimes it's better to let minor mistakes go, even if you know the answer. By balancing intelligence with kindness, you can avoid making people feel defensive. When someone makes a mistake or says something that's not quite right, it's easy to jump in and correct them. But is that really necessary? In many cases, pointing out every mistake doesn't add much to the conversation. Schopenhauer would argue that it's more important to focus on the bigger picture, on the overall flow of the conversation and the connections being made. By choosing not to correct others all the time, you create an atmosphere of acceptance and respect, which can make people feel more comfortable around you. This approach doesn't mean you should never correct someone or share your knowledge. There are times when it's important to contribute valuable information or insights. For example, if you're in a professional setting or discussing a serious topic where facts matter, it's crucial to share what you know. The key, according to Schopenhauer, is knowing when to step in and when to hold back. Wisdom is not just about knowing the right answer, it's about understanding when the right time is to share that answer. By being mindful of the social context, you can decide whether correcting someone will help the conversation or if it will just create unnecessary tension. Thanks for watching.